It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Your emails as well at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. While we are primarily focused on local issues here at the News Blitz, today is one of those days where there's only one story in the news. There's only one story everybody's talking about. So we want to give you the opportunity to weigh in on it. Joe Biden has dropped out as the Democratic nominee, and Kamala Harris has jumped in as the presumptive nominee, although at this point it looks like she's got it shored up. Almost everybody who's anybody in the party has endorsed her, including Nancy Pelosi. So if you would like to react to Joe Biden getting out of the race, Kamala Harris getting in the race, give me a call, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Your reaction in Kamala Harris going up against Donald Trump in November, 800-222-KABC. While we wait for those calls to roll in, Vice President Harris went to Delaware to meet with a whole bunch of campaign staffers, and Joe Biden was there on a conference call. Let's hear what they had to say.
And it is my great honor to have Joe's endorsement in this race.
I'm going to try to skip past all the applause because we don't have time for that.
And it is my intention to go out and earn this nomination and to win.
Okay, we can skip over that applause.
So in the days and weeks ahead, I, together with you, will do everything in my power to unite our Democratic Party, to unite our nation, and to win this election. You know, as many of you know, before I was elected as Vice President, before I was elected as United States Senator, I was the elected Attorney General, as I've mentioned, of California, and before that I was a courtroom prosecutor. In those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds.
I think I know where she's going with this. I think they know where she's going with this, too. This is how they're definitely setting up the race. She's the prosecutor. He's the criminal. Would you like to react to Kamala Harris being the new presumptive Democratic nominee? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222.
Predators who abused women. Fraudsters who ripped off consumers. Cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
Yeah. Woo! We get to where you're going with that.
And in this campaign, I will proudly put my record against his. As a young prosecutor, when I was in the Alameda County District Attorney's Office in California, I specialized.
Oh, boy, Kamala, you don't want any connections to the Alameda County District Attorney's Office. Don't even bring it up.
I've been bipped several times.
Because you don't want people to connect with a place you used to work with who's working there now. Same thing for the DA's office in San Francisco. Well, not who's working there now in San Francisco, but who replaced her. Gasconi.
As a young prosecutor, when I was in the Alameda County District Attorney's Office in California, I specialized in cases involving sexual abuse. Donald Trump was found liable by a jury for committing sexual abuse. As Attorney General of California, I took on one of our country's largest for-profit colleges and put it out of business. Donald Trump ran a for-profit college, Trump University, that was forced to pay $25 million to the students it scammed.
Oh, my. They're really going for it. Hey, you know what? She can string a sentence together, and that is an improvement from the last candidate.
As district attorney, to go after polluters, I created one of the first environmental justice units in our nation.
Okay, the people in the room and their supporters, they're not just supporters, they're campaign staffers. They're going to woo anything.
Donald Trump stood in Mar-a-Lago and told big oil lobbyists he would do their bidding for a $1 billion campaign contribution.
Feels like we're leading a room full of kindergartners.
During the foreclosure crisis, I took on the big Wall Street banks and won $20 billion for California families.
Wait, I didn't see any of that $20 billion. Maybe somebody did. I wasn't a homeowner then.
Holding those banks accountable for fraud. Donald Trump was just found guilty of 34 counts of fraud.
It's the prosecutor versus the criminal. Who are you going to vote for in November? That's what they're framing this as. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Your reaction to our brand new vice president, our vice president, who is now going to be the presumptive nominee for the Democrat Party, Kamala Harris. 800-222-KABC. Your reaction to Joe dropping out all of a sudden on Sunday. 800-222-5222.
But make no mistake, all of that being said, this campaign is not just about us versus Donald Trump.
Okay, there's going to be more than just saying how bad the other person is. All right, tell us what you got. Give us your pitch.
There is more to this campaign than that. Our campaign has always been about two different versions of what we see as the future of our country, two different visions for the future of our country. One focused on the future, the other focused on the past. Donald Trump wants to take our country backward to a time before many of our fellow Americans had full freedoms and rights. But
now they're doing we know what act they're doing now.
But we believe in a brighter future that makes room for all.
Again, these people will woo anything. Woo! Ric Flair wouldn't even woo this much.
In a brighter future that makes room for all Americans. We believe in a future where every person has the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead.
All right, I'm up for that. Let's go.
We believe in a future where no child has to grow up in poverty. Where
the staffer did that as loud as possible because they wanted to hear themselves later. They wanted to go back to the YouTube and find that moment where Kamala Harris talked about child poverty so they could hear themselves going,
where every person can buy a home, start a family, and build wealth.
Okay, he did it again.
And where every person has access to paid family leave and affordable child care.
Okay, I think we got the first semblance of what her platform is going to be. It's going to be child care is too damn expensive. Although they tried to get that through. That was part of the Build Back Better plan in 2021. But Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema put the kibosh on that one. But hey, they won't be in the Senate anymore. Maybe if Kamala gets in, they'll finally give you some affordable child care.
That's the future we see. Together we fight to build a nation where every person has affordable health care. Where every worker is paid fair.
Is it going to be affordable enough that you're not afraid to use it?
Affordable health care. Where every worker is paid fairly. And where every senior can retire with dignity.
All right, we're talking about the basics of basics. We want everyone to be happy.
All of this is to say, building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She's definitely running in the Joe 2.0 lane, at least as far as we know on day one. She definitely was a little closer to a Bernie than a Biden when she ran in 2019, but it seems like she's going for, I'm going to do as best I can right now to continue what Joey was doing because Joey's out of commission. Your reaction to Vice President Kamala Harris being the new presumptive nominee for the Democratic Party for 2024. Joe is out. Kamala is in. I want to hear your reaction. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Chris in Westlake Village. Chris, hello.
Hey, Randy, how you doing? How was Point Doom, by the way? I'm kidding. The speech that Kamala made today, she mentioned that Project 25 that was created by the Heritage Foundation. Trump did not create that, and he does not endorse it. And if you go to DonaldTrump.com, whatever the website is, it has his plan 47 spelled out one by one for anyone to go see. So when you hear Project 25 and Trump's name to mention, he does not endorse Project 25. End of story.
Like none of it? Even the like firing a whole bunch of bureaucrats part?
Well, they added stuff that he disagrees with, but it was all news to him, you see, that he didn't create it. He has his own plan on his website. So, yes, he agrees with some of it, but there's a lot of crazy stuff in there that he has no idea what it is, and he does not agree with it.
And you're seeing that it's not just Kamala, but pretty much everybody, as often as they can, are mentioning, hey, you get Trump, you get this Project 25, so you better look at what 25 is, because if they get in power, that's what they want.
Right. And just like they say that if there's a nationwide abortion ban, which won't happen, he'll sign it. There isn't going to be a nationwide abortion ban. That's impossible.
Well, there you go, Chris. Thank you so much for the call. And yes, I will get out to Point Dune as soon as it cools down a little bit. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. And then I'm going out of town a little bit. Your reaction to Kamala Harris being the new nominee, presumptively, for the Democratic Party. The convention is in like 3 weeks. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Ann in Chino Hills. Ann, hello.
Hey, Randy. Thanks for chatting with me. I just want to say that it's first and foremost, I think it's just funny that the party that has been saying Donald Trump is the threat to democracy is now appointing their candidate. It's just so ironic and so hypocritical on their part, as always.
We are truly living in an unprecedented times, I'll give you that. You don't even get a week's respite before the next crazy thing happens that totally upends this cycle.
Yeah. And my thought is I don't think Harris is going to be their nominee. I think even when she was running in 2019, I think she was polling at 2% in the primaries. So I don't think her own people like her, and so I think it's going to be Newsom who's going to be nominated. They're gonna, I just don't underestimate any of their plans. You know, I have reasons to believe that the assassination attempt was not accidental oversight or incompetence. I think it's all in their playbook. So I don't think we should underestimate what they have up their sleeves right now. I don't think it's Harris. She's not presidential. They don't like her.
But you think they like Newsom? Newsom's got to be way less likable than Kamala Harris.
Yeah, but if you think about it, you know, we had the chance to recall him in California, and we didn't because I think that many people are still just very, very brainwashed, and he's got that like weird presidential charisma look, you know, and so I think if it's up on, you know, I mean, Lord have mercy on us, but I really think that the rest of the country, they think they see him as presidential, and they will believe in his lies, and if he's up against Trump, I really think he has a chance. Harris doesn't have a chance against Trump, but I think Newsom does, and I think they know that.
What do you make of the fact that since it was announced that Joe is out and Kamala got the endorsement, that they raised $81 million in 24 hours?
Yeah, that is a little bit surprising to me, yes. But, I mean, at this point, I feel like anybody who is a never Trumper, you know, a vote for, it doesn't matter who the candidate is, right? It's just whoever is not Trump. That's like, those are the crazy people. But I think the moderates or the independents will for sure not go for Harris, but they might go for Newsom. That's my theory and my prediction.
Well, there you go, Ann. Thanks so much for calling in. Appreciate talking to you. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Your reaction to Vice President Kamala Harris being the new presumptive nominee for the Democratic Party. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-KABC. This guy is out, and this lady is in.
We are clear and have been clear.
We're taking your reaction, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Steve in San Diego. Steve, hello.
Hey, how you doing? Steve in San Diego here. Hey, I wanted to say with regard to this Agenda 2025 Heritage Foundation put out, it's 900 pages. Nobody read it. Nobody's read this thing. And besides, Trump has come out and said it's a non-starter. He's got his own agenda. It's on his website. You can go there and read it for yourself. It's only like 3 pages or 2 pages. And then with regard to Kamala Harris as a candidate, I wonder what the brothers are going to think when they find out how many brothers she put in jail for smoking pot.
Well, I mean, that was the law at the time, and when you're a district attorney, except for our current crop of district attorneys, you're supposed to follow the law.
Yeah. Well, she was smoking pot herself and putting other people in jail for it.
Oh, you remember that when she was originally running for president in 2019, and she told the Breakfast Club that she used to really get down and smoke all that weed, and she listened to Snoop, and I remember that.
Yeah, so she's a hypocrite and a liar, and I don't trust her one bit.
Well, there you go, Steve. Thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it. All the way out in San Diego. We're so appreciative of you listening. Let's go to Miroslav in San Diego. Miroslav, hello.
Yeah, it's hello. So I will just jump straight into point. I'm U.S. citizen. I'm coming from Serbia. 25 years in San Diego. My children finished the schools here at UC system, and I will get my impression. You guys, America complete is under revolution, and you guys don't see that. Nobody see it. I've been in my life through 3 revolution, communist revolution. They all won. So the America does not have any chance against the communists. Remember that. They will win. Anyone come against Trump will win. Remember that. It's a communist revolution. Guys, wake up. Wake up. America is taken. America is already Latino revolution. They like communists. It's tradition. It's a history. It's coming here. It's over. Nobody will have a sandwich to it for the day. They will vote for Harris. Remember that. I'm seeing that in my Serbia, my mother country. People don't have to eat. They vote for solid communists. Remember that. America, good luck. Thank you.
Thanks so much for the warning, Miroslav. We appreciate you listening. Wow. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Richard in Mount Shasta. Richard, hello.
Good afternoon. I'll tell you this much. Camellia all of a sudden discovered her genetic composition. Years ago, when she was Alameda County's prosecutor, it didn't matter a thing. When she ran for different state offices, it didn't matter at all. Now, all of a sudden, she's Martina Luther King. But I will tell you this much. She's the most accomplished femme de joie in American politics. I'll give the woman that and no more. Remember, this woman was Montel Williams' lace girl, or one of them on his left or right arm. But she's not going to go anywhere. All she knows is toss it up in the air and come down and almost compose sentences haphazardly. That's it.
Well, there you
more
go,
grievance
Richard.
Politics with her. That's all she's got. And
Thanks for the call, Richard. Oh, boy. There were a few words in it that even I didn't understand, but I appreciate everybody participating here. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Vice President Kamala Harris is the new presumptive nominee of the Democrat Party. She's gotten the endorsement of almost everybody, including Pelosi today. She's raised $81 million in 24 hours, 60% of that from donors that have not contributed yet to this election. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about Joe getting out and Kamala getting in? We'll take your calls the rest of the hour. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Well, today we're going to be doing a national story because it's the only story anybody's talking about. Yesterday, Joe Biden announced he will no longer be the Democrat nominee, and Kamala Harris got the endorsement.
We are clear and have been clear.
And then Kamala Harris got another endorsement.
I will repeat myself.
And another one, and another one, and another one. I think the only holdouts are Jeffrey Schumer and Obama and Mike Bloomberg. Everybody else is pretty much on board at this point. They raised $81 million in 24 hours. 60% of those donations were from people who have not participated in the 2024 donation process. Your thoughts on VP Harris running for the Democrat ticket? 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Sean in Corona. Sean, hello.
Hey, Randy. Yeah, the Democrats obviously don't like Kamala Harris, but they're stuck with her because she represents a good portion of the black vote, and she's a woman. If they got rid of her, I think they would scorn both sides.
Well, yeah, then they got to keep her around. I mean, if that constituency supports her, they must like her.
Yeah, well, I think it's just it's an identity thing. She's a woman and she's black. The fact that she can't articulate two words, they seem to overlook that.
Well, Joe Biden couldn't articulate two words, and he won last time.
Did he? Are we sure?
Pretty sure. Thanks so much for the call, Sean. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Greg in Santa Ana. Greg, hello.
Yeah, hello. I just have a couple of questions, actually about 4 questions. Number one, what was Kamala's occupation before earning her law degree? And then what is her timeline in terms of serving as a DA and the state attorney general in California? And then what was her timeline for serving in the Senate and then but prior to becoming the vice president of America? And then lastly, she's trying to stand on excellent performance as a lawmaker, but then again, and going after Trump as a criminal. But what is the standing going to be in the Supreme Court when that case is reviewed? That's all I have to say.
There's some questions there. Feel like a lot of those could be answered by looking up the Wikipedia page for Kamala Harris. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Danny in Orange. Danny, hello.
Hi there. I just have one question. If you listen to Kamala, anytime she speaks, ask one question. Who is she pandering to? Because that's all she does. Every time she talks, she's pandering to some group that they're buying votes from or claiming to represent that group of people. That's all she does. If you listen,
that's what all politicians do, though. That's every politician on both sides of the aisle.
She nails it. I mean, she a mass shooter where they cite sex crimes and pornography. She comes up with crimes against Asians when a portion of them were Asians. she says crimes against Asians, and she's from San Francisco. If you study crimes against Asians in San Francisco, FBI statistics, it's like 80 or 85% done by black Americans. But she doesn't say that. But a mass shooter, automatically it's crimes against Asians. Or it's black women that are pregnant that get a certain disease and they need someone to represent them, or some entity that they pander to. That's all she does. That's all she does.
There you go, Danny. That's all she does. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. This is what we're here for, to let you sound off, to voice your opinion on the other person that's going to be on the ballot, most likely, this November. Let's go to Sam in L.A. Sam, hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Yeah, so I think Kamala is basically an empty vessel. But more important to me is I think they're going to go after Mr. Trump again, and they're probably going to bring down his plane. I think he should start going commercial and do multiple reservations. But I'm really, really worried about Mr. Trump.
Well, I certainly hope nothing like that even comes close to happening. What happened in Pennsylvania was an atrocity, and we're investigating that right now. That being said, I don't see Donald Trump flying Spirit anytime soon. But thanks so much for the call. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Morris in Studio City. Morris, hello.
Yes, good afternoon. It makes no difference whether it's Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. I have yet to hear a politician order the military, law enforcement go to all these apartment buildings where the illegal aliens or self-reported human beings dominate, reside, and evict them, get them out of America. I have yet to hear it. So I don't think it makes any difference because I don't think that's ever going to happen.
You're right. It's most likely never going to happen.
Yeah, well, then what's the difference then? Well, what purpose does it all serve? I don't know what it serves you. They get your tax revenue, and that's the end of it. I mean, it's day in and day out. So, it's all the same to me.
Well, there you go, Morris. Appreciate it. You know what? Some people definitely feel that way. There's a lot of people still, even in today's day and age, that do not participate in the elections because they don't feel like their vote matters. And the most important thing you can do locally is try to prove that that's not true. But, hey, this is all up to you at this point. 800-222-KABC. Let's go to John in Santa Monica. John, hello.
Hello. I'd like to answer that guy's question asking about the biography on Kamala. I have my other point, but I just thought I'd interject this. 1980 to 1995, Willie Brown was the Speaker of the California Assembly, and she, too, thought Kamala was an empty vessel. And that was the beginning of her career. Are you aware of that? She was the boyfriend of Willie Brown, the girlfriend.
Oh, yes. I mean, Willie Brown has told everyone about that plenty of times.
Right. So just that guy that's out there, just a little information to you, buddy. She was on the casting couch. Okay. I am in Santa Monica. I have been going around to the post office and the market and doing everything, and I'm kind of a talker. So I've asked 30 women in Santa Monica if they're supporting Kamala, and I'm getting a big high five yes from every one of them, dude. This is like the Borg. This is the Borg, and it's just insanity. I ran into one PhD professor from UCLA who thought inflation was caused by corporations. And I tried to have a conversation with her. No, it's called printing fiat currency. Look it up. And there's a PhD probably making $300,000 at UCLA. I'm telling you, the Democrat people, guys that are trying to analyze them. No, this is called insanity. This is called another reality. They are in the laughing place. And you ought to have a new segment called the laughing place or cackling corner and talk about this gal because she's going to be news every day. And she's going after. Did you hear her little press conference she gave?
Oh, yeah. We played some of it, and then we got to the calls.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, she's going for the sex thing and his bad businesses. And so she's talking about the future. We're not talking about the past. We're talking about the future. That was her promo. And then all she did was talk about Trump's past of 40 years ago. So this is total insanity. But you know what? And by the way, I just took my Biden-Harris bumper sticker, and I just took a slice with my scissors off the Biden part. So now I saved me a little money.
Well, there you go. Hey, if you've got an old Trump-Pence bumper sticker, you can just take the two first letters out of Pence out, put a VA on there, and that'll save you some money, too. John, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it. Let's go to Mecca in L.A. Mecca, hello.
Hello. I just want to say I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I think it's honorable, though, that Biden steps aside, and many seem to be excited about Kamala. But at the end of the day, with Trump and his hatred, his meanness, his angry tweets, it's time to move on from him because we're just tired of this type of behavior. Everyone's tired of it except his supporters. That's all I want to say. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks so much for calling in. We're glad to have you. And all opinions are appreciated here, always. That's what we do here at KABC. We're the sounding board to Southern California. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. If you'd like to email us, you can do so at randykabc@gmail.com. Lane writes in at randykabc@gmail.com. Hey, I don't know if you've mentioned this, but Trump donated to Kamala Harris's campaign twice. That's true. When Kamala Harris was running for Attorney General, she got a $5,000 donation the first time and the second time from Donald Trump. Interesting times. That's what we live in, everybody. Hey, before we get back to the calls, how about a nice prize from me to you? 790 KABC welcomes Chris Lane to the Pacific Amphitheater on August 14th. Tickets are on sale now, but right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-790-5222 gets a pair of tickets to the show. Tickets furnished by the Pacific Amphitheater. Good luck dialing. More of your calls coming up shortly. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Let's get back to the phones. 800-222-KABC. Your reaction to Kamala Harris being the new presumptive nominee. It's most likely going to be her.
We are clear and have been clear.
Replacing this guy. Let's go to one of our favorites, Patty in Simi Valley. Patty, hello.
Hey, Mr. Randy. Hey, Randy. Hey, how you doing? Happy Monday. Everything Trump, Randy, has said since 2016 has come true. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Everything Trump called it. He called Biden. He said Biden had Alzheimer's 3 years ago. It is true. He's not running for re-election. That guy is sick. But at the end of the day, Randy, it doesn't matter. It does not matter because we're not going to win this election. Because the Democrats have control of the machines, Randy. And it's not a conspiracy theory. It's what's happening. They control the voting machines, so you could put a wheelbarrow up against Trump and the wheelbarrow will win because they're cheating on every election. Trump, Randy, in 2020 was winning Pennsylvania and Wisconsin by 20,000 votes, went to bed, got up the following morning and was losing by 30,000 votes. And every single vote went to Biden. And people are not allowed to ask questions. You know, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, Randy. I'm a realist. I see what happens. And that's all I have to say.
You know, Patty, you've got me thinking maybe we should put up a wheelbarrow as a candidate. They'd get my support. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Let's get one more in here. John in L.A. John, hello.
Hey,
John.
Randy, how are you?
Doing great.
Hey, how's it going? Sorry, I was on Bluetooth. I had to pull over. I don't want to get a ticket. So, yeah, I mean, who wants to vote for a cackling hyena?
Well, there's got to be more concrete criticisms than she has a funny laugh.
Yeah, and then also, you know what's kind of cool? See, Trump is really smart. He picked Vance because Vance is married to an Indian lady. So check it out. So the minute they try to hit him with the race card, saying, oh, you're a racist or whatever, no, Vance is married to an Indian. And isn't Kamala like half Indian or something?
Yeah, she is, I believe, part Indian, part Jamaican.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. John, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Ed writes in at randykabc@gmail.com. Hey, Randy, I believe Biden will address the nation this week, and he'll resign as president to ensure that Kamala will be placed in as president and receive the backing of the DNC. Keep up the great work. Well, it was a robust discussion. We had a lot of different viewpoints. Thank you all so much for participating. Tomorrow, unless there's more massive, crazy breaking news, we'll go back to local stories, which is my favorite thing to do here. Well, my favorite thing to do is those happy hour Friday shows. If you miss any of those, go to KABC.com, click on podcasts, or search for the KABC News Blitz on Apple Podcasts. At some point, they'll put us on iHeart. I don't know if we're on Spotify, but check it out. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Appreciate doing this for you every single day. We'll see you tomorrow at 5 for another News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC.